Welcome back everyone to another NRG, and let's partake a bit of Super Nintendo, shall we? It's been a while, and this is 1992's Super Double Dragon, or if you're from Japan, Return of Double Dragon. One of the many Double Dragon sequels. I think this is the fourth console sequel, the fourth game I believe. Console only as well, exclusively to consoles, wasn't released in the arcades this. Yes, it's the same old fare Double Dragon. Well, I say the same old fare. It's a little bit different in the way it sort of like plays, I guess. I want to say it's different the way it plays. To me, there's a reduced moveset in this, as opposed to the originals. There's a lot of favourite moves which kind of have changed into different moves. I mean, you get your super moves in this, which is different to the original. And the way the battles interact are slightly different as well. But you do get the old knee strikes, which is good to see with certain enemies. Anyway, this one, there we go, lovely knee strikes, and he can do the old throw as well. So it's nice to see the old fateful Double Dragon moves in there. Flying kicks, I believe, there as well. A nice spinning kick as well you can do in the super kick. You can charge your bar up. But yes, it's typically your street sort of like scrolling beat 'em up. What can I say about it? It's got nice sort of typical SNES music, which is kind of, it's okay, it's nothing spectacular. I think it kind of chugs along quite well with the game, maybe a little bit of a repetitive loop, but it's not bad. Sprite work, very similar into some of the other sort of like Super Nintendo beat 'em ups of the age. Tough Enough springs to mind. I love the nunchucks there. That's a nice touch. The weapon work in this is actually pretty good. I do like some of the touches with the weapon work. When you have the weapons, it actually becomes very, very easy. But keeping hold of the weapons is the tricky bit. There we go. Knocked the boomerang out of his hand. That was a nice little touch. So yeah, with the fighting, there is some nice little touches going on. You can like daze your opponents and things like that. Nice blowout effect there as well. I would say the pacing is a little bit different to a normal Double Dragon game. It seems the enemies come at you in bigger waves, it seems, and a lot more frequent than the previous Double Dragon installments for me. I mean, especially if you compare it to more modern Double Dragon versions. For instance, later on down the years, you had Double Dragon Neon, which it takes ages for the enemies to spawn once you've dealt with a wave. But this, they come at you pretty quickly. Nice bow staff stick there, chopping them all down. The levels are quite long in this as well, I find. They seem to sort of tick on for quite a bit. And what else is different? Well, Billy and Jimmy are slightly different from each other, which is not normally the case. Normally the case, Double Dragon 1, 2, Rosetta Stone as well. Billy and Jimmy are just palette swaps of each other, aren't they? Essentially, they're identical move sets and everything else. In this, they look slightly differently. You've got the palette swap uniform going on, but they've got different hairstyles and slightly different move sets as well, which is interesting to see. Nice, very welcome. These guys look like these guys here. They look like mini. What's the big guy? Demon, big guy from Final Fight, the boss in the first level. They look like mini versions of them. Nice lift section, so stolen off Streets of Rage, if you ask me. I think a lot of the elements in this version of Double Dragon are sort of like they pinch a few things off Streets of Rage, which was out at the time, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Streets of Rage 2, I don't think it was. And of course, I think it was repackaged as well in Japan as a sort of like a different version in 2018, I want to say, off the top of my head. Return of Double Dragon. You have to get used to the fighting style. It's not quite the same as the original Double Dragon. The original Double Dragon, where you could sort of knock them down with a headbutt straight away. You can't do that in this. You can if you're supercharged. So that's sort of like the big change in the fighting style element here. So you've got that bar underneath your health bar at the top there. If you get the time, you can charge it up by holding L and R down at the same time. And if you do that, if you charge it to below halfway, you get a sort of minor super move. If you charge it to above halfway, you get a sort of like a high super move, like a hurricane kick kind of idea, for example, and a big uppercut. If you manage to fully charge it, then you get I think it's like 5 or 6 seconds of like super power, where one kick, one punch will knock your enemies down in one hit. A bit like the old elbow, the old back elbow and headbutt used to do in the original game. So I suppose that's what you sort of like taking into account that you're sort of taking their moves out, but you're adding it in a different way. Which is nice. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It's, like I say, it's standard fare. It's nothing spectacular and nothing groundbreaking. You know, the super move thing, it's kind of nice. I do like the different animations on the kicks are kind of nice as well. Ooh, that back kick there. There you go. That was a mini sort of hurricane kick. Charged up halfway. Flying kick is... a flying kick actually does knock them down in one hit, doesn't it? So that's, again, that's different. In certain versions of Double Dragon that doesn't happen. The original it did, I believe. There we go. I'm so fully charged up. I've given myself chime. He's all hyper. Look, old Billy. He's completely hyper, and I've got hit there. But one hit should knock these guys down while you're fully charged, and I'm not charged anymore. You can sort of also vary in your attacks as well. It's quite when you've got grabs on, you can actually do quite a lot of different techniques, which is kind of nice. But they're a bit unnecessary a lot of the time. You can do a block, for example, which you couldn't do in the original 2 games. And when you do that block, you can trap another person's attack and then do a counter attack, an elbow smash into the back of the head, hip throw, or something along those lines. I think you can actually do a headbutt at that point as well. Okay, the guy in the suit is our boss man. We'll take care of him, and then we'll wrap this review up. Like I said, graphics are kind of standard fare for the Nintendo of the time. Colours, nice and bright. I think the sprites are maybe a little on the small side, but that's just a personal preference, I guess. You can also jump off the wall as well, I believe, at one point. That's sort of like taken from Street Fighter, isn't it? It just seems... I think the animation frame could be a little bit better on the sprites as well. But I like the pace, I like the speed of it. Like I said, if you've played Double Dragon prior, it's a slight departure from the previous child. You've got a low kick there as well. Like I said, the moveset has increased to a degree, but it's taken away certain moves that you feel that you had in the original, and especially Double Dragon 2. I love the fact that you do have the back kick though, so that's always a welcome thing. If you're having someone attacked in a hair grab, a knee strike kind of situation, you can do a back kick. There we go, full Hurricane Kickorama job there. Kicking the crap out of this dude, and he's done. There we go. So that's the first mission complete. So we're nice to see they've taken all the Marion references out, it seems. I think you're still trying to fight the Shadow Gang and get Marion again. But right at the beginning there, it doesn't start like the typical Double Dragon does in front of the gym and everything. So that's a little bit of a shame. And I suppose there could be a bit of tidying here and there. But you know, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine, serviceable beat 'em up. Good 70% for me. Say nothing spectacular. Maybe nothing to keep you coming back either, which is a shame. You know, Double Dragon Advance on the Game Boy Advance is probably a little bit ahead of this in the way it's sort of like it's a little bit more faithful to the original game. This kind of departs away from it a bit to become a little bit more of a generic beat 'em up, but it does have some nice touches. There we go, Super Double Dragon on the Super Nintendo 1992. Thanks for watching. Novabug out. Hey, Novabug here. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my Bug Army via Patreon. And also don't forget to follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, BitChute and Twitch. And a salute to my Bug Army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanak, Pete Walker and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug out.